Hello, one, and hello, all. My name is Mr. Lane. I just want to do a reaction to the fifth game of the division series between the Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. Um, I just wanted to say this on Twitter. I post on Twitter not to spoil the results. So I just got done watching the game on Twitter and or just got done watching on DVR rather, but I post on Twitter not to spoil it. That being said, it was one of the more crazy games, one of really a crazy first inning when you think about it. The Braves, quite frankly, really self-destructed in the first inning. It wasn't just one player; it was everybody. Everybody that was wearing the home whites right here. The home whites, everybody screwed up, and it wasn't just one pitcher. It wasn't just wasn't one player. It was everybody on that team that was wearing that uniform. They know they had screwed it up, and St. Louis, to their credit, took advantage of some mistakes. And as it turned out, they got a couple, about two bases loaded hits, two bases loaded doubles that really broke the game open. It broke the game open at the time, which technically broke it open from like a 4-run lead to then a 7-run lead, and then to eventually a 10-run first inning, which was simply amazing. So you had Foldenevich, who pitched real good in game 2 of the series. He pitched very good in game 2. It was, you know, he was all over the place for that, but um, he pitched all over the place, walked too many hitters, and then he only pitched the third of an inning. This is the same pitcher that pitched 7 innings in game number 2, and then only pitched the third of an inning. But I had a bad feeling about this game, really from the get-go. From what I saw, is that it was just a sloppy performance by the Braves in Game 5. Some people are going to say, "Oh, they crapped the bed and then they choked and all this crap." I'm giving the credit to the St. Louis Cardinals here. St. Louis Cardinals prove not just to the Braves, but to really all of Major League Baseball why they're one of the more dangerous teams I think in all of Major League Baseball. And I think their arch rivals Chicago Cubs know this very, very well. They swept the Cubs, and I think that sweep of the Cubs at the time gave the Cardinals, I think, a huge boost. So to win a fifth game in Atlanta like they did in such dominating fashion, which was unbelievable but believable at the same time. So looking hindsight being 2020, a couple historic facts that I want to talk about. The Braves right now are unfortunately 0-4 in Game Fives all time in the division series. So they're 0-4. That being said, it's just a terrible statistic. So, but like I said, I give the St. Louis Cardinals credit where credit is due, quite frankly. And really, the only time when you look back at the history of the Cardinals, they've eliminated the Braves really 4 times. 2000, after the Braves had won their last pennant, which was 20 years ago, they eliminated the Braves in 3 straight under La Russa at the time. The next one was 11 years later when we had that classic 2011 pennant race, the last day of the season in 2011, where unfortunately the Braves had lost to the Phillies in extra innings, which benefited the Cardinals to it benefited the Cardinals to end the Braves season, and they went on to win the World Series right after that. Um, and then you also had 2004, or excuse me, 2012, when you had that controversial infield fly rule at the time, which to me is still one of the more controversial calls probably in postseason history. I as a person feel that the '96 World Series was worse than that. That's just my personal opinion. Um, some people say, "Oh, the Yankees won that." Yeah, but to me, with all due respect to Yankee supporters, they were lucky to win that World Series in '96. They had a lot of beneficial breaks in 1996. But now back to the Cardinals here, which is the main part of this video. Um, 2000, 2011, 2012, during the first ever National League wild card game, that was won by the Cardinals. And then here in 2019, where they scored 10 runs in the first inning. 10 runs. And yeah, it's unacceptable, but this is a big game. And as far as the future of the Atlanta Braves is concerned, I think we're going to be okay. The teams that right now that I feel that I'm more concerned about, the New York Mets. Like I said, the New York Mets, I'm a little worried about. The Nationals have been very solid. They made the playoffs without Harper. And the Phillies, not so much, and the Marlins, not so much, because the Phillies have a lot of work to do. It's the Nationals and the Mets are the two teams that I, as a Braves fan, that I'm more worried about. Excuse me. But it takes more than a Bryce Harper to win in Philadelphia, and that's all I'm going to say right there. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a crazy, crazy way, to end a season. But I really was not surprised that they lost the fifth game of the division series tonight. I'm really not surprised by that at all. Um, but I believe the Braves are going to be fine in 2020. I think we're due. I personally think in maybe the next 3 to 5 years, they probably will be more successful in the playoffs. But the Cardinals, like I said, they proved to all baseball why they're one of the more dangerous teams, I think, in all of Major League Baseball. It's been proven over and over and over and over again. They took the Central away from the Cubs. A lot of people thought, oh, the Cubs were going to make the playoffs, but then they self-destructed, and in that return, Joe Madden is no longer the manager of the Chicago Cubs. It's the same guy that has managed two different teams to win. Now, as far as the Braves are concerned, like I said, we're going to be fine. We have a young foundation here. The only thing I could see potentially is if Mr. Anthopoulos, evaluates his whole squad. And I would not be surprised in the winter meetings, regardless of who wins the World Series here in 2019, if we see a blockbuster of a trade between the Braves and somebody else. I would not be surprised if that happens. Baseball is a game and it's also a business at the same time. So, that being said, it's a business. It's a business at the same time. So, and I saw that the Braves were trending number one, I believe, on Twitter for a little while. But, I still feel optimism. Yes, they failed. They were one win away, and I think they should have had the fourth game, and they had the fourth game right in the palm of their hand, and it slipped away thanks to the rock of the Cardinal Foundation, Yadier Molina. Now, if I'm a Dodger fan, this could be a classic NLCS between the Cardinals and the Dodgers. I would not be surprised if the Cardinals win the pennant. Would not surprise me, because really, history should be on the Cardinals' side here because since divisional play began 50 years ago, no National League team has ever won three pennants in a row. Nobody. Nobody in the National League has won three pennants in a row in the National League. So, that being said, will we see more history or will we see it being repeated once again? Dodgers are that good, but the Cardinals are that dangerous. So, we'll see who advances in the NL playoffs. Now, game 5 tomorrow, we got the Houston Astros and then the Tampa Bay Rays. That's going to be a dangerous series. This is Mr. Lane here. This is about almost 10 plus minutes long. I'm signing out. Thank you for watching.